Hey there, my name is Pravus. Welcome to more Kingdoms Reborn in our town of Scalens, or however you're supposed to say that. I probably should have some sort of a special accent, but my very English keyboard doesn't have that immediately available. Anyway, we are playing as the Norseman, and we're just now starting to get our feet underneath us, which is looking great. Food, for the most part, is okay. We're producing a lot of our necessities. I'm still struggling for tools, but we're researching trading companies, arguably the most important building in the game, and with these, I'm hoping we can up our trade game with significantly less fees, and that's going to kick everything off. Beyond that, it would be nice to go ahead and get things like the brickwork, so I'll be able to start making some bricks, but it's actually totally fine for me to buy some in the meantime. That's not a big deal. I would like to get to things like foreign relations and stuff at some point, or maybe start trading up a whole bunch of military units with which I will start conquering some of the small city-states off over here to get some tribute. That's not a terrible plan if we want to do that, but it's also not absolutely crucial. For right now, I'm content with just expanding with what we've currently got and trying to make everything more efficient. One little research that I sleep on usually, and I'm going to try not to do that this game, is actually the shrubbery down over here. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but it turns out my people want a shrubbery. The shrubbery increases appeal, and increased appeal is going to increase people's happiness and so on. It's generally a good thing to do to have more appeal for all of these houses. So if I can boost this up just by placing down some small decorations here and there, that's actually a pretty good thing for me. People think you are okay. You know what? Sometimes that's just good enough in life. I really can't be sad about that. That's great. Thank you, guys. Oh, you're so inspirational. I'm going to go ahead and buy a Quarry card over here. Not that I absolutely require it right now, but I'm just going to be happy to have that as an option at some point. I really don't care about some of these wild cards. We're going to skip that. The library has been very, very good for me so far, just being able to start producing extra science so I can get through these crucial texts. Just like in a game of Civilization, you know, if you can get your science skyrocketing faster than the AI, that is going to put you at a pretty significant advantage, which is awesome. Very tempted to actually get rid of some of my pig ranches and actually replace them with sheep, so I not only get some food, but also some wool. Because it's not like the pigs have been outstanding for me. They're pretty good, but they're not absolutely amazing. I think I might swap over to some sheep. I kind of like this idea. Now, it's going to take us some time to build this up, but amazingly, we're doing okay on food for the moment, so I think I'm okay with this. What I'm going to do is just have them kill all pigs right now, just slaughter all of them, get all of the food out, and then, yeah, we're going to get rid of this, replace it with sheep, and have a new trade good that I'll be able to get rid of. I say trade good to get rid of. I mean, yeah, that's exactly how I'm going to use it at the beginning of the game, but eventually, with clothing and so on, that actually ends up being pretty darn useful. And we're not that far off from being able to get clothes. I mean, tailors are right here, for example. So that wouldn't be a terrible plan. Get lots of leather, lots of wool, boom, lots of clothes. Yeah, I like that plan. Okay, trading companies are done. That's great. I'm actually going to go ahead and research the shrubbery now. Doesn't take an exceedingly long time to research, but surprisingly, it takes a similar amount of time to research how to plant a shrub as to get these trading companies. Weird, right? Anyway, let's go ahead and start building these. We're going to need a lot of them at the end of the day. I mean, I usually end up having like a pretty large alleyway of just like nothing but trading companies. And I don't see any reason to change that strat. Works fine. Ah, wait, dang, I'm out of stone. That's a bit of a problem. I do want to get this tile very badly. It's a very good tile for me, but I'd have to find a way to get to it, and I kind of need to own this tile first in order to get a good bridge down. There's also some good stuff up in this direction as well. I need stone, though. Need stone. All right, we're going to buy this area right here. This is going to unlock the coal mine. I'll go ahead and buy this, though I don't anticipate doing much with it for a bit. We can place a mine right here. Just go ahead and disable it. There we go. We'll have the option of getting some more coal that way if we want. For now, though, gather stone, get trading companies. We have produced 1,000 beer. This gets me the Master Brewer card for my town. So if I want to get rid of investment, I can. What I'm going to do instead is spend 2,000 gold to upgrade to level 3, and then we will, whoops, hang on, that gets me the card shop where I can buy special buildings and cards, not worried about that. Toss in that Master Brewer, and now we get a 30% boost, which I've already stacked up in the forest area, which is going to be great. So now, 4 wheat becomes 18 beer. Yeah, we are going to become Master Brewers indeed. And there's our first trading company, thank you. Okay, so it does have a little bit of an upkeep to it. Yes, that is certainly true. It says it still has a 33% fee, which is not much of an improvement over the trade fee we've currently got. But remember, with the Companies Act, every one we build is going to reduce that trading fee by 2% up to a maximum of 20. So eventually, this is going to turn into a 15% trading fee instead of 35. That's the whole point. So the more we are doing auto trade, the more profit I actually can get. And I don't want to really use the trading port pretty much at all. So what kind of auto trading do I want to do? Let's do an auto import order on, how about iron tools? We'll do that. The goal is to have at least 40 in my inventory. Max I'm allowed to trade at a time, let's say, is 20, so I don't accidentally overspend. And I'll keep an eye on this. But in theory, I can stop using the trading port, and this is going to be arriving more consistently. Not to mention, again, it'll end up being a fair bit cheaper. Not bad. We can also use this for some auto-exporting. I'm thinking auto-exporting beer might make some sense. We've got a lot of that going around right now. So I kind of like that plan. I really need to get rid of these darn cards in my inventory. I'm just going to toss them somewhere. Let's say one here, one over here, and a card shop over, I don't care, here. I'm just getting them out of my way because they don't do much of anything that I care about right now. You can, like, prioritize your jobs. That's all good, I guess. You can do some statistics to see what you're consuming, but I already know most of that information, and they're taking up my hand. Over here, being able to buy cards, this is something that's new. And I actually found this out not too long ago because I was like, where are things like the beer tax and my upgrades? They're right here. See, there you go. So houses that get beer produce extra gold. That's a pretty darn good card for me. Or pottery leads to science. We can have more heat from our coal, right? All this stuff ends up being pretty darn good. Smelters with 1,000 coal, we just get extra 50% productivity. Like, my God, that's amazing. Some of these cards are really strong. They really are. And here's a bunch of cards, for example, that allow you to actually start planting down things like tulips, grapes, dyes, etc. I haven't messed with this yet, but can I plant down tulips anywhere? Like, what determines where I can place down luxury crops now? That's going to be interesting. Well, we'll try messing with this, and we will find out. You know, it would make sense to get the mushroom log sterilization, which will not take very long. Then we can lead to the agricultural revolution, and even if I build, if I want to build a granary, that's 10% extra food producers of any kind, but also, regardless, 10% extra efficiency for every nearby farm, up to 20%. So ultimately, for like all of these right here, it's going to translate into a 20% boost in productivity. That's pretty significant, so I'm absolutely going to get that tech. Okay, let's go for an auto-export order on, let's say, beer. Producing plenty of that. Target inventory will be, let's say, about 100. You can sell up to 100 per round. That's the most you're allowed to sell at a time anyway, I think. Net profit should be pretty good. The fee has reduced down to 29% simply by placing down another trading company over here, even if I haven't built it. There's actually something to be said about placing down... You know what? That's not a bad plan. Use my wild cards, start getting a whole bunch of these... And even though I don't necessarily have the materials to build them all right now, turn these off, for example. Then we come over here and, yep, that fee has reduced down to 25%. Oh, see, now that's just freaking awesome. I am also going to do an auto-export for, let's say, some coal. We will try to have a target inventory of, let's say, about 500. And then we'll sell off an excess along there. Okay, so that's some pretty solid net profit potential along there. Imports overall not looking that bad. We're just having to buy a few tools here and there, so we're watching our profit dip away whenever that happens, but still. Also, let's spend some money placing down some shrubs like so. Now the appeal over here jumps up to about 85%, which is definitely an improvement from where it was before. Some of these houses are too far away to really get the benefit. From here on out, my neighborhoods need to have a little space between houses just to get this. And honestly, with enough appeal, you can override the fact that some of these buildings are reducing appeal. Like over here, for example, we're going to end up having some pretty awesome appeal just by placing these down, despite the fact that it's going to be right next to an industrial building. Totally worth it. Now, how big is a granary? It's honestly tempting to get rid of one of these houses just so I can place this over here, but not sure if that's the right way to go. Could get rid of a farm or at least reduce this to make everything else around it a little bit more effective, and I think that's going to be worth it. Yeah, I do think we're going to do that, like right over here, just to boost up these farms. So once we get to the next winter and we harvest this stuff up, let's try to do that. Going to go ahead and start building the quarry. This does take up a lot of laborers, but I have some people to spare right now because my population has jumped up to 66. And it's actually a great spot for a passion book, because otherwise job happiness is just truly awful. Full workers get 20% productivity, but for 2 upgrade points? My god, that sucks. Yeah, that's, oof. Well, this is a better deal because if I want to pull some workers off, we can. So we'll spend 2 upgrade points there. It's definitely worth still getting a lot of stone, but, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that. I'm gonna go ahead and buy a few bricks. Just a handful. Something like 40 or so should be enough, and then we can sell off any excess other goods, like, let's say, some furniture for a little cash. But not too much. Remember, this isn't the absolute best way to trade anymore. The fee is still higher. But I also don't feel like micromanaging every single one of these trades. Anyway, with some bricks, I'm gonna come over to some of my luxury-producing buildings, and we're gonna boost these up. An extra 8% work speed is gonna be pretty darn nice for me. With some of these bricks, let's come over here and upgrade the beer brewery. You can see these are going to be changing up their appearance a little bit, which is kind of nice. Giganto keg over here. I like that. Trying to remember, where was I in Germany not too long ago? I think it was it Heidelberg? Maybe. There's a castle that has like a gigantic like wine barrel, like the largest in the world over there. You can literally go walk on top of. It's huge. Pretty darn fun. Anyway, totally irrelevant to the game, but yeah, just fun. Swordsman. These appear to be unique for us. That's a different icon. Kind of cool. Empire building. Allying or conquered minor cities give extra upgrade points? Interesting. Okay, that's a very strong incentive to go conquering. I like it. We have our granary up and running, so a 10% boost in a lot of these areas is going to be great. I actually am tempted to place a granary up over here somewhere because we're making a load of food from oranges and stuff. Boosting that by another 10% would actually be pretty strong, I think. Even though it does take up some space, that's a little bit risky, but I'm okay with that. Yeah, unless there's another spot we could place it. See, if you do it over here, you can boost the same things, plus our pig ranch. That's definitely a better choice. Now, I am looking at our food, and I'm starting to feel a little antsy about this. The granary is gonna help, yeah. Is it gonna do enough? We might need to expand into some additional food very soon. Well, I mean, okay, I say that. I don't necessarily need to. What I could do is instead of putting people to work in, let's say, these fruit gatherer areas, instead just focus on getting more luxuries and just buy the food that I need. That's also a completely valid strategy, and you have a whole extra trade center just for that. I'm going to try for it, actually, because my biggest downside whenever I play this game is I really just don't play the trade game quite enough. And we need to fix that. I need to really focus on the trade game, even though that does mean we're taking some big risks. So let's take a look at our imports. What is some of the cheapest food currently available? I wish there was an easier way to search for this. They're all roughly equivalent, if I'm honest. Grapes? No, that's not cheaper. Honey is one of the cheaper options, I suppose. Game meat. Yeah, no, they're all about 11.28. Some are just a little bit more expensive than that. Okay, I guess we'll go ahead and just buy, let's say, some game meat. And we want to always have, let's say, 100 of that, and you can buy up to that. Let's try to set this down to like 40 and keep an eye on it. This could very quickly turn into a situation where I'm buying way too much food. I'm gonna go ahead and claim some more territory down in this direction. It'll make for some nice expansion at a later date. And I think I might cross the river and spend money on this in a minute as well. In fact, yeah, let's just go ahead and do it. All right, we've now got access to some tulips down over here. Let's click on the card. Allows tulip farming within the radius. Depending on what you mean of... Oh, okay. Wait, okay. So can I can place this anywhere I want. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. It's still ultimately really good to have it down here because this has some tremendous fertility potential to it. But yeah, okay. This is a little far away, but I will place this down here for now. It's currently inaccessible. We will be wanting to place down an absolute ton of tulip farms over here. I have access to beekeepers now. The more trees around, the more efficient it's going to be. I'll go ahead and place one up over... Oh boy. Let's place one up over here, I guess, close to where the forester's already doing his job. Of course, that knocks down a couple more fruit trees, but for the most part, we're still looking pretty good over here. But I don't really want to continue expanding in this area too much. I really, really want my fruit gatherers to be doing some solid work over here. We can go ahead and boost these guys up a little bit, by the way. There's plenty of oranges we're currently missing. Getting some beeswax would be good, so I can start getting candles. That's going to be another tier upgrade for a lot of my housing. But also, some honey means a little bit of extra food, so that's not a terrible investment on my part. Now, 4 workers at a beekeeper is a bit more than I remember, but okay. Produces some of the beeswax we're looking for. This does produce honey too, I think, right? I thought it did. It has to. It makes sense. Whatever. Anyway. I'm also going to go ahead and enable some more of these beer breweries. We have a lot of extra laborers sitting around. Let's go ahead and get some fast malting. We're out of upgrade points. Dang it. I wanted to get myself... We've already got Brewery Town. Perfect. All right, so we've already got those up and running, so that's going to be nice. Let's get another one of these trading companies working as well. And we're going to want to start importing wheat to make sure we never run out. But this should translate into a lot of beer production, which I can then sell to make a pretty nasty profit. I say nasty, but it's actually going to be awesome. All right, and yeah, actually I did see a little bit of honey pop up for just a brief moment, so that's technically a little bit more food. I need to get myself a hunter, and then we can set up some more fruit gatherers over here. And here's the thing, I really want to start making a lot of money. Like a lot of money if I can. Why? Because I would like to go ahead and start buying up some of these units. I want some swordsmen and archers so I can start subjugating some of these little neighboring city-states, or even raise them in order to make some space for myself if that's something I think I would benefit from. It'd be also great if I could actually sail over to someone like, let's say, Burka, and subjugate them too, because then they'll have to start paying me some tribute. And that means more money, which means more snowballing, and that would be great. Also, I'd love to go ahead and start getting their upgrade points, since we know a tech exists for that. I'm also running into some serious growing pains when it comes to these trading companies. One thing we could do is mark these guys as subsidiaries. Reduce their upkeep by 50%. So it costs 500. Divide that by what effectively is going to be 25 gold in upkeep, and every 20 cycles or so, after 20 cycles, it will have paid for itself. You lose the auto trade button, which is a little concerning. But if I'm willing to spend some... Oh, wow, I just spent a lot of money on something. Reducing the upkeep to a degree is going to be worth it, and having less of these auto trade buttons in and of itself is also going to be nice. We need to start reducing our upkeep so we can start storing up a lot of extra cash. I'm selling off a little bit too much of some stuff. For example, I'm producing nowhere near enough coal anymore. All right, that's a good sign to go ahead and turn on this coal mine. And I've been trying to get some upgrades as far as... Ooh, I want a Taylor card, yes. As far as things like the heating technology so my coal goes further, and that is still good. But what's going to make more sense here? The tailoring is going to help me start getting some additional upgrades for houses. So we're going to be able to get up to tier 4 houses, I believe. That means a lot of extra income in science. Baking is really good. Also, windmills just boost up farms, which is also great. Mead makers, honey becomes mead. That's unique for my faction. And then candle makers make the candles. That's another luxury resource for me. Let's stick with the tailor for now. I'm going to continue upgrading things like heating technology so this all goes further. But we definitely need to get this coal mine up and running and make sure we have a bit of storage to work with over here as well. Whoa, there goes all of my money. Okay, hold on. 3 immigrants want to join. Yeah, that's fine. So long as I can get something that's going to help boost me up in other ways. Oh boy. Whoa. I don't think I was expecting to have this much trouble over here. Boost up money makers. Quickly, please. I need more stuff to sell in order to stay alive here. That is painful. And yeah, now I'm in the negative. Okay. We've grown a little bit too big for our britches of them, y'all. I really want this tailor. Did you... I bought iron bars, I thought. Okay. Oh, wait, hang on. They just need to be dropped. Okay, or they're being dropped off. I'm trying to construct this tailor over here. I think they just need to be, we just need to grab the resources I've already got. But I want to get the tailor, and I don't really want to sell things like the leather because I can turn that into clothes, which is going to get me a profit. But at the same time, I'm kind of dying for cash here. So let's go ahead and sell off a bit of leather, knowing that the fee is going to suck. Just that little bit of extra influx is going to help keep everything alive. If you ever run out of money, right, completely run out of the stuff, that's when you start running into issues because your auto trade stopped working and your economy is going to completely, totally spiral. It would help if I allowed myself to sell more beer at a time. So let's say like 200. There's still a capacity to how much you're able to trade, but we're sitting on a lot of beer right now. I'm even sitting on a fair bit of furniture. Let's boost that up, and that's going to let me sell off the stuff I am making a little bit faster per tick, and the result is hopefully I start making some cash again. There's a tailor. Okay, so just having one of these is great. We can start making woolen clothes. 38 wool, which is worth 11.52. So let's say 38 times 11.52 is worth about 437 gold per cycle. Clothing is worth 47, so 13 times 47.06. That means we're going to be getting about 180 gold profit per time we do this. If we can obviously get some upgrades, that would be huge. Some sustainability would help this go a lot further, so I don't need to buy my own wool and stuff, but this could be pretty helpful. And I'm not going to be selling the clothes for a while until we get actually a good stockpile of them, but upgrading the housing, now that's going to be nice. We do need 3 types of tier 1 luxuries, though, so until I start producing some more tier 1s, there's nothing I can really do here. This is where I really want to start getting some tulips farmed up. The only problem is these guys are really far away. So let's demolish this for a second. What else would make some sense? Fertility dependence is 90%. See, that's the problem. I want to place these over in a place like this. But if we take a look at the zone, we can just click on, let's zoom out here and just take a look. The fertility is 51% in that area. That's obviously not going to do it for me. 100% over here with the cannabis, yes. 49, 50, blah, da, 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 da. Yeah, it has to be planted down here. That's where we have to have the tulip breeder. It is not an option. So something like this is ultimately what we're going to want. Gosh dang it, research upgrade thing you had to pop up at the exact worst moment, didn't you? Thank you. Farming technologies just boosted up. Too far away from houses, yes, I know. But you get a whole bunch of these farms over here set up around the tulip breeder, and we're going to be able to get so many tulips. And selling off the excess is going to be worth a lot of cash. Getting upgrades to another tier 1 luxury means all these guys get up to level 4. Then we're going to have everything we need to start making them level 5. Then we're going to start making a load of science and a load of money. This is how I get myself out of the hole. I'm going to buy this tile out right here. What this does is gives me a lot more real estate with which I can easily set up a good residential neighborhood in this area. Let's see, more trading companies. How many more do we need, by the way, to get our fees back down? Our auto trade says we were at 19%, so 2 more is the most I can have to maximize my current benefit. I think what I'll end up doing is probably getting a trading company over in this area, so I can just sell off some of the tulips pretty easily. Gimli, you are adorable, but you are very loud. Anyway, another library is exactly what I was looking for here. We actually will want a second tailor card, so I'll go ahead and buy that as well. I know I'm spending a lot of my money, but we want to get that tailor town, so I'll be able to get 10% extra productivity when the time comes. Not that I can build this right now. We're going to have to buy a lot of iron bars to enable this. And by the way, I'm a little concerned that these fruit gatherers over here are not going to be cutting it for much longer. We might actually need to get rid of these and move them, let's say, out over, I don't know, here or something. Get another forester set up, and that's going to be a more reliable way of getting food into a new neighborhood. I'm going to try setting up another tavern right here, though we're not going to build it out right now. I'm just kind of planning. Yes, this spends a lot of money, but it's fine. Another library can get set up over in this general area. How about like this? There we go. Don't need to build that this second. And this tells me where I can start placing down a whole load of my housing. Okay, I've bought the last trading company, which means we are now down to our 15%, which means this card is extremely valuable for us, and it's now at its maximum bonus. So we're looking really good on that front. So that should increase my profit potential. It doesn't look great right now, but every extra couple hundred gold here and there from these sales is going to be quite nice. So we're looking solid. I'm buying food whenever I find myself in a bad spot, and I can sell off a few little random excess things like some leather or some beeswax, at least until I'm really to get to a position where I need to make candles, which probably is going to be a good thing for me. Honestly, since we are playing as the Norsemen... Ooh, we're actually out of population. That's no good. Since we're playing as the Norsemen bees, you know, that's going to be really good because I can turn honey into mead. So I'm probably going to be a very forester and honey-based focus anyway, which means that candles are a very sensible thing for me to produce. I'm going to toss a sustainability book into the tailor. That's actually a massive swing in our favor. That's like 12. Wool, which is worth 11.5. So that's an extra 138 profit just from this one sustainability book. Anytime you have a really large input number, it's usually worth to place down some sustainability books. Otherwise, productivity is still pretty good for you. But this means that my wool from my sheep ranches is going to go a lot further, so that's fan-flippantastic. We've already got 26 clothes. Again, I can't use these right now, but if I wanted to sell them off, I could do so. Let's go ahead and do an auto-export order on that for now. Might as well enjoy the cash. We want 0, and we're willing to sell off anytime we have any. I'm actually going to do the exact same thing here with the beeswax and the same with the leather, because even though I could make clothes out of leather, that would mean that I have to get like another tailor or something set up. I don't want to have to keep micromanaging between wool and leather. So we might as well just sell those things off. And as long as we've got the capacity down here, which we do, then we'll be able to sell this stuff off. You don't have to have one trading center for every good that you are going to be buying and selling. I just find that that's a good, like, general rule of thumb to make sure that you always have some capacity for whatever you're trying to do. Tulip breeder's getting figured out right now. Perfect. Doesn't take people to actually work it, but it does mean this whole province is now able to work in these areas. So let's clear out the stone and get some of this. It would be a lot more efficient down over here if we had some housings set up. So I'm going to allow for a couple of houses to get constructed over here. I unlocked the windmill with baking, even though I don't want to make bread yet. Though bread is actually really, really good, because you can also stack up some serious modifiers and get a ton of food this way. Like a ton. But the windmill is going to help boost up all farms, including tulips, which I think is probably going to be worth it. I'm curious... Yeah, let's go ahead and buy that. And no bakery yet. I'm curious, is mead considered to be a tier 1 or tier 2 luxury? If we take a look here... Actually, I don't see mead anywhere on here. No, I have absolutely no idea what mead does for me exactly. Maybe it's just a food. Maybe it's just a way of actually getting, like, some sort of a food so that we can eat more efficiently with our honey. Yeah, no idea. Can't even look at the meat. It's nowhere on this list. I haven't got a dang clue what to do with all that. All right, that's fine. Fair enough. Let's go ahead and research logistics. Hauling services are going to be great for me. Because I'm going to be moving things around a lot now that I'm building out some additional outposts. So the larger the city gets, the harder it is to get goods where you need them, including things like food and stuff. Or move some tulips from down over here into the main heart of the city so it's faster to get these things upgraded. I don't know, all that seems good. So a windmill placed down over, let's say, this away, like so, would boost every farm around the tulips. Now see, I can see this being extremely good for me. Yeah, I'm definitely happy to have this. Look at how much money we're making now, by the way. Holy crud. Okay, with that, guess what we do? We start training up some units. Let's go ahead and train up a handful. I have only 3 slots currently available, apparently. And it is based off of my population. Fascinating. We've unlocked the ability to vassalize. Now, see, that's exactly what I was looking for right there. So, using my swordsmen, archers, whatever else, we'll be able to do something. Now, my question is, when do we get additional units? Is it every 25 population? If that's the case, that's a very strong incentive to start building up our population quick, which means this immigration office is going to be good for me. I'll go ahead and buy this, by the way. That's another 6% at the moment. But yeah, and now we can raise, too. If I want to get rid of a minor city like this one right here, we could just get rid of it. So if I click on Conquer, for example, we could toss some of these units over here. All right, so let's go ahead and toss in 2 swordsmen plus an archer. Submit. We have started to attack them. They've got peasants, yes. But now, my swordsmen have a pretty good amount of attack and HP. They have a lot of HP, but their attack is... it's actually a lot just from numbers, but the more I just kind of pick them away, the better. Do I have... I do actually have space. No, I don't have space for more units. I really need these military slots. That's a new mechanic that was not very... that was kind of very recently added, I think. And the result is it definitely limits your ability to start going crazy and start conquering everyone in sight. That used to be a thing you could do. I'm kind of glad to see that that's been limited to a degree, but it means it's pretty hard to conquer people at the beginning of the game. The more we pick away at his numbers and reduce his numbers, the better. I'll just keep reinforcing with more units as they die, and we'll eventually win this. It's just going to be kind of expensive. There, see, I just lost 1 swordsman. Now they're going to start chunking through the next one. But this should mean I can go ahead and buy another one. And as long as it finishes before this other one dies, we'll be fine. But we're going to have these guys conquered at some point pretty soon. My money, as you can see, has skyrocketed all of a sudden. So we're looking really good now. So if we can just keep this going for us, make sure we don't run out of things like food, blah, 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 we're going to be really good to go. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If so, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, make sure you hit that notify bell, and I will see you guys next time.